wanted to do a real quick vlog on the Law of One Tarot and understanding balance, and it directly relates with the potentiator of the mind. And if you look at the potentiator of the mind, and if you've been following me, guess who that is. So just use this grid. There's the potentiator, there's the mind, and it links you right to the High Priestess right there. Okay, so what I used to think in the past and what I'm learning now is extremely different. So I used to say all the time that there is no gray area. I used to say that all the time. I raised my kid that way. You make a decision. There is black, there's dark. If you follow the arrow here, there is dark, there is light, and I used to say there is no gray. Within the gray, when it comes to the ego, it's excuses for something that you ethically know is wrong. So you make a decision, you answer all those excuses, and you do not walk in the gray. You walk in the white. And what I'm thinking now, and I also have been listening, I've listened to him in the past, Dr. Robert Gilbert, because I follow Dr. Kareem's stuff, like the sacred geometry stuff. I bought a whole bunch of his things. I've got his books. So I've been following them for a long time, and he's been coming up more and more on my feed. And when that man talks, it resonates. And as I've said before, I really am only listening to Matthias de Stefano's stuff right now. Anyways, I ended up listening to a whole bunch of Dr. Robert Gilbert's podcasts. And in one of them, he said that in order to be whole, you actually must walk the middle path. The dark pillar, the white pillar, they just are. It's a positive, and this, he didn't say this. Now I'm interpreting what he said into the Law of One Tarot and making it my own, because when he said that, I immediately thought of the High Priestess. She's a potentiator of the mind. And remember, spiritual growth is when you can look at a concept in many different perspectives. So Dr. Robert Gilbert also breaks down, he says that the heart chakra has 12, okay, don't quote me that he said this. I don't want to be throwing stuff out there if I don't remember exactly. But from what I remember, what he said was that the heart chakra has 12 lotus petals. You come with 6, and you have to develop the other 6 on your own. So if this is the heart chakra, the experience, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but the experience of the body complex here, I always see her. So most people call this the strength card. I call it courage. To me, it's extreme courage. The heart needs courage to repel its, to accept the anger that the heart has developed over the years of life. Anger, fear, kidneys hold fear, but mainly like the opposite of love is anger, right? So you can't get to love right away. You can, people say fake it till you make it, but have you tried it? It's kind of hard to fake it until you make it. So what I began to do was I would look at very disturbing things that have happened in my life where I felt I was treated unjust. Instead of making a victim of myself, I would use this card. This is the courage card, the experience of the heart, the body complex. And I would take this and I would visualize this card here in my heart. And this is me shutting the ego out that others are projecting onto me because I didn't want to resonate with the lower mind, with the animalistic mind. I want to resonate with, see the snake the snake head that she has on her turban? That's my resonance, because I want to keep my crown open. So I used courage. And eventually what happened was this courage started turning more and more into love. For example, when you know that that is happening, in those moments of when you feel people are doing you wrong, and just like you're kind of like, why is this person even saying this? Like, I just don't even you don't even understand their behavior anymore. Not only is it that you don't understand their behavior, you get to a point when you do enough surrender and you stop reacting. This is key. You give death to reacting to your own egotistical mind. So this ego here that's trying to trigger you, possibly, instead of reflecting onto that trigger and resonating with it, you surrender it. And therefore you give yourself expansion within the heart through the surrender. The alchemy right here, this is the alchemist, the great way. Your heart expands. The toroidal field is like happier. The positive coming, it's the positive going out. So it's proton and electron at the bottom of our feet. You absorb through the electrons, so you can absorb the love from Mother Nature, and you can also, the love that's absorbed is now going out through the proton. So it's like a butterfly, right? It's like an apple. You become the middle. So coming back to the potentiator of the mind, the High Priestess, you are now sitting in the middle of the darkness and of the light. And you are now, through courage, you are now making conscious decisions through changed perspective of observing the negative, not reacting to it, giving it silence through courage and surrender, and giving it a death. And that death of not reacting to anger or what you think somebody else did to you, if you didn't react, you just changed that alchemical field, and this expansion occurs within you. And then when you go back here to the potentiator of the mind, I was thinking of her because what you just did is, remember, I always say when you're looking at the Law of One Tarot, these are all archetypes. These are archetypes you want to use in your life in order to help you expand perspective. That's what they're here for. The Godhead does not want to just feel maybe the Godhead doesn't care, obviously, right? Shouldn't have said that. But what your spirit complex, let's take it back to your spirit complex, which is right here, it wants to experience all so it could come to one, back into the Godhead, into union, divine love. Love is the Godhead. So that seed that we have, that first, we would not be here if it wasn't for the first spark, the Godhead, which is absolute love. It's bliss. If you've ever felt it, it's just like, it's like you don't even remember that you have a body anymore. It's just, so what happens is this oneness that is already inside of you, when you get to feel that oneness, you begin to love everything. You recognize that everything is energy, has energy. I have a feeling the mind complex is also the soul, which represents energy. And then comes the spirit complex. The spirit complex is the vibration. Everything has energy and vibration, even a rock. And you begin to look at the rocks, the trees, the flowers, the grass, wood, like on homes, even plastic. You start looking at everything differently from different perspectives. And this, you can only reach this kind of love when you begin to recognize your own courage and start surrendering the experiences of your past without reacting to your past like you used to. Going back to the High Priestess, the middle path is actually the path of where you can sit and you can look at the dark. So you can look at this pillar and be like, oh, okay, that's here for an experience for me. All right. You can look at the white pillar and you can be like, okay, I like that feeling better. Let's expand on that. But you're sitting in the middle, and it says, and Dr. Robert Gilbert, and I'm putting my own perspective on it now, it resonated with me that the middle path is where you want to be. The middle path has the most amount of, through faith and courage, you can get to your significator, which is the Hierophant, which is also your, there's no time and space when you get to the significator, right? You get to release the timelines, and you kind of get to see, observe life through the state of, and this is also from Dr. Robert Gilbert. I don't know where this fits in yet, but I will kind of introduce this concept onto this vlog, and then I need to think about it a little bit more. But he says to observe and direct in a skillful way is our purpose, right? So going back to the heart chakra, so if we have 6 petals, the other 6 that we need to develop are, we need to observe and direct in a skillful way to our thinking mind complex, to our feeling body complex, and to our willing spirit complex. We also have to develop tremendous amounts of positivity. So that is number 4. Openness. Number 5, openness to new information and enormous equanimity. That's number 6. Towards that information that you've just received. And we need to see it from radically different perspectives. This is all, he's talking about all of the major arcana. And you have to make the choice, which is the choice card, here at the level of significator, where you release time and space, to see it from radically different perspectives. We have seen it before. So that, doing those 6 things, once again, to observe and direct in a skillful way to our thinking, mind complex, also I think it's the soul, feeling, body complex, material, willing. We're here to live the will of the spirit complex, vibration of your spirit complex, in order to fulfill the blueprint of learning that your spirit complex wanted to come use Gaia, or come work with Gaia, in order to expand and grow. And usually this growth and expansion is in service to others. You have a unique talent, like a snowflake. Everybody's different, so are we. Every person is a snowflake. They have a different sacred geometry, seed. We all have something to offer. And this spirit complex has come in with something. It has not a purpose. It has an experience that it wants to have that's going to be the world to it. The great way of the spirit complex is the world. It wants to live out a certain experience that's going to give it this joyous connection with the divine. So to observe and direct in a skillful way. So this is, again, your heart chakra here has 6 petals. We need to work on the 6 here on earth, and those 6 are the thinking mind complex, the feeling body complex, the willing the spirit complex. We need to do that through developing tremendous amounts of positivity. That's number 4. Openness, number 5, to new information, and enormous equanimity. That's number 6, towards that information, to the new information that you receive, to see it from radically different perspectives that we've seen it before. Love you guys so much. Hope that helped.